It's homecoming week at USC, and the Trojans look to extend their lead atop the Pac-12 South as they take on Colorado today. Thank you for joining us here early in the Coliseum for USC's official pregame show. It's Tunnel Vision presented by Bristol Farms. I'm Katie Boggs here with my co-host Sean Cody, Thomas Williams, Danny Page. Guys, we're already halfway through the regular season. I'm a little sad we only have 3 pregame shows left.
Well, we're going to hang out during the holidays, right? We're just going to sit around the fire and tell stories about this amazing season. Really, it has been an amazing season, right? I mean, there's just been so many different variables. The team's handled it so well. I really like where this football team is right now.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's a great place to be halfway and midway through the season with a couple more games. I am definitely going to miss you guys as well.
I'm probably not going to miss you guys as much after this is over, man. I haven't really gained any attachments yet. I'm just kidding. I love you guys. This has been such a great experience. Let's win some football games. Let's go.
Let's do it. Well, let's start by talking about what happened last weekend. The Trojans made it out of Tucson alive with a 28-26 win over Arizona. Yet another game that came down to the very last play. But Leonard Williams said he was never worried, never thought the game was over. And all the players are learning they have to play every second of the game. And while, Sean, games like that make for excellent TV, they're great to watch, I don't imagine that's something the players want to be doing every week.
You know, to me, it was a game about really finding out how to win as a team. You know, I think the week before, it was a tough situation. They lost on the last play, and then you come to the same almost exact scenario as the week before. You're pretty much dominating the game, and it's getting tight at the end. And that's how you find out as a team how to win together. You know, in those hard situations when your back's against the wall, who's going to step up, who's going to make the plays, and how is we as a team, how are we learning how to win? And I think that's really spoke to what was going on.
So a lot of lessons learned. What else did you take away from the game last weekend?
Well, you know, I think we did a tremendous job running the football. And in this era of spread offenses and throwing the ball and such, to me, championships, whether it's division or conference or national, are really won at the line of scrimmage. And I love what our young linemen are doing. The defensive line is just unbelievable, now that Antoine Woods is really moving along. And, of course, Leonard's healthy, doing his thing, too. We're starting to really dominate the line of scrimmage, and I think that favors well for what's going to unfold over the next couple months here.
Well, maybe the win didn't come as easy as USC would have liked, but Buck Allen made it look awfully simple to run for 205 yards and 3 touchdowns. He was named the Offensive Player of the Week for the Pac-12 after that career-best performance, and he's the first Trojan since Lindell White and Reggie Bush to have at least 5 100-yard rushing games in one season. Guys, to me, Heisman candidate is written all over this. Is he in that conversation yet?
Yeah, I think he's one of the best running backs in the nation. You know, you guys obviously played with Reggie and Lindale, and you look at Buck Allen. Thomas, he's averaging more yards from scrimmage per game than Reggie did in his Heisman season. I mean, this guy, I don't know how he does it. He doesn't seem to have that speed, but he's just an unbelievable runner.
Yeah, he's just extremely efficient, and that's the best way to describe him.
He once he puts his foot in the ground, it seems his vision in the field is remarkable because he's seen guys come and making that cut when no one's there yet, and then when those guys are passing, he's making those moves. And I think, like Buck says, you know, all his accolades go towards the offensive line. Those guys are really coming together as a young group that was not, wasn't supposed to be, was kind of a shaky group going into the season. Now it's one of the strengths, I think, of the team.
They really seem to all be feeding off of each other. You could tell Buck's become such a leader out there for the offensive line, and they just are working together so well, which is a big reason why Buck Allen is the only running back in the country with at least 750 rushing yards and 250 receiving yards. And yes, he's an MVP on the offense, but Thomas, how much is he also helping the defense?
I mean, just like you said, he's helping the defense extremely. I mean, as long as he's on the field with the offense, that means the defense is off the field. They get a chance to rest. They get a chance to talk about last series, the coverages, make adjustments. And also, when you're on the defensive side of the ball and you see your running back fighting for 5, 10, 15 extra yards on each play, it gives you a little bit of motivation, and you're excited, and it just continues to drive the attitude of the entire team.
Yeah, nothing better than being a defensive lineman, huffing and puffing on the sideline, and seeing your guy going off for a 15-yard run, and that clock's just running, and you're the big guy. You're like, yeah, way to go, Buck, keep it going, way to go, Reg. And so those kind of things, you just love your offense to just keep rolling like that, and the clock to keep marching on defense.
It's very easy to see what a humble guy he is just being out there in practice. Even here at the games, he's always a leader, and he tells the guys it doesn't matter if he's having a good or bad day. He's always going to get out there, perform his best because he wants to be a leader for all the guys. And Danny, you wanted to mention something about Buck. I think I jumped on you there.
Yeah, no. I think I wanted to ask you, Sean, if the word you would really use to describe his strongest ability is vision. Is that what it is? Because there was a 35-yard run I remember last week. The Trojans were buried deep in Arizona territory, really drove downfield. And Buck Allen's 35-yard run really keyed that. You know, talk to me, was it vision from Buck Allen? Is that how he finds these little spaces and bursts downfield?
I think to me it's a balance of vision and having that awareness that when should I hit this? You know, that having that patience as a running back is key. You know, because anybody can just go up there and hit a hole and tell, hey, this is we want you to run to the A gap, we want you to run to the B gap. This guy's waiting for plays to develop, waiting for the offensive lineman to create those holes, then cutting back and making the right decision. So it's really a balance, I think, of those two things.
Thomas, who would you compare his playing style to in the NFL today?
One of Sean's old teammates, Arian Foster with the Houston Texans. You know, he's a one-cut guy, puts his foot in the ground, gets downfield. He can catch the ball out of the backfield, and he makes guys miss, and he's doing a tremendous job.
Right, well, I'm sure we'll be talking Buck more in just a bit. We have to take a quick break, but before we do, Danny, basketball is right around the corner. We've got Media Day coming up on Wednesday for the women's basketball team, Thursday for men's basketball team. What should we expect from basketball this year?
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy to think that the basketball season, by the next time we're in the stadium, basketball season will be underway. And that style we saw from Coach Andy Enfield get started last year, it's going to hit a high gear this season. I know Caton Reinhardt was a star shooting guard for Mater Dei, state champion. He's transferred back home to Southern California. Can't wait to see what Caton can do on the perimeter. Point guard like Jordan McLaughlin coming in, drives to the hoop, kicks it out to a three-point shooter like Reinhardt. So, I mean, we remember Andy Enfield's team going on that memorable run, of course, in the NCAA tournament. I'm excited to see those guys at Galen this year. It's going to be fun, worth the price of admission. I know we'll be at Galen a lot for basketball season. Trojan fans, I hope you are too.
We all do. Make sure to get out to some of those games. It'll be a great year for Trojan basketball. Well, we're going to be taking a quick break right here on Tunnel Vision. When we come back, we're talking Model Ts and Homecoming 1927. You won't want to miss this. Stay with us right here on Tunnel Vision.
Here at the Coliseum, our dedication to the safety of our student athletes and fans is as passionate as our desire to win.
As the nation's elite athletic and academic conference, we're the ones who set the benchmark for sportsmanship and fair play. Please respect our officials, our opponents, the fans, and our legacy of leadership.
West Coast football isn't only about speed and style on the field.
You didn't hear anything?
It's about our employees off of it as well. This is what makes us the Conference of Champions. Fight on.
At Mercury Insurance, our agents train every day to go above and beyond for our customers. They know how to find the discounts that could save you hundreds. They're highly skilled in hand-to-hand customer service.
Welcome to Mercury.
No matter what the obstacle, we're ready when you need us.
Mercury Insurance, how may I help you?
To save, serve, and protect. We're on a mission to save you money.
Big yard sale today, Katie.
On Wisconsin! Huskers!
Concordia!
Gauchos!
Go Rebels!
Woo!
At Enterprise, we hire more college graduates every year than anyone else.
And many of us play college sports too.
From Cobbers to
What was for sale today, Sean?
From Bulldogs,
to Silver Swords.
Big items, big ticket items.
How much time do we have?
and we put it to work for you
Probably about-
every single day.
That's the Enterprise way.
Pick Enterprise. We'll pick you up.
With millions of businesses all in one place, the YP app can help you do pretty much anything.
But can it get you to the moon?
You'll need a space helmet. YP can do that. You'll need the highest rated hardware stores. YP even has a cheap gas finder, which is perfect for longer trips. Be even more powerful, so much more than a search engine Yellow Pages. YP can do that.
Welcome back to the show. Well, USC is all about tradition. And one of the newer traditions is the Trojan Walk. That's where fans can line up at the east end at the Coliseum 2 hours before the game and greet and cheer on the team as they arrive, make their way through the peristyle and onto the field. It happens before every game. It's one of the best parts of a fan to come early. If you've missed it before, make sure to come out at our next home game and catch the Trojan Walk. And to give you a look at what it's all about, we've got a video for you. Take a look.
A big deal now, huh?
One of the highlights of game day from a fan perspective, but Sean and Thomas, I want to know from a player's perspective, what's it like to have all the fans there as you make your way to the Coliseum for game day?
Shout out to the video department. Look at those close-up of Sark's face. Man, that was good stuff. I mean, I remember when we first started it, and it was just my mom, T-Will's mom, and I think Matt Liner's mom, and there was like 3 people out there. Now it's this great, wonderful adventure through the Coliseum, and it seems magnificent. Thomas, what you got for us?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say the same thing. I mean, it's the first time all week for me personally. I got a chance to see my mom, my aunt, my uncle, and then you can actually feel the energy of the crowd and the fans are going to be inside this amazing stadium, and you're walking by and you're slapping hands, and so you kind of feeling exactly why you play the game. I mean, to put on a great show.
When you're watching college game day and you see all those other teams get off the bus and there's no fans there, it makes you really proud to be a Trojan and see all the fans out there before. I have to say, that's my favorite part of it, is just seeing everyone rally around you guys, rally around the team. And it starts right there with the crowd and the cheering, and all of this right now makes a big impact on the game, doesn't it?
Yeah, that guy didn't care that we were just shooting a video screen right here, but it's all right. We're going to keep rolling because, I mean, that experience, like you said, Katie, it's just gets you fired up for the game. You know, Thomas mentioned that, you know, it really puts you in the right mindset why you're playing football. You know, it's for the fans to have fun, to put on a show, and those things are great. So, I mean, that's what it's all about.
Well, a much older tradition that started, in fact, at USC in 1924 is what we're all celebrating today. It's a USC homecoming, and our team has found some great footage from the 1927 homecoming that happened right here at the Coliseum. So we're going to give you a sneak peek of that Trojan video exclusive, and then our resident historian, Danny Page, is going to come back and share a little bit. Take a look. Well, for the full video, go to usctrojans.com. It's great to see all of that here in the Coliseum, the same place we are today. I mean, maybe the cars look slightly different.
Unbelievable stuff. I mean, it has to be a humbling experience to be on Trojan Walk, right? To see that video and to really understand the tradition of Trojan football, that's a humbling experience, I think, for all of us to look back to 1927. The year of that homecoming game. Huge game, by the way, USC against Washington, the final game of the year. The Trojans won 33-13 over Washington. Now remember, guys, obviously remember, just 1 week before, USC had gone to Notre Dame, played Notre Dame at Soldier Field in front of 120,000 people. The Trojans lost 7-6 in one of the initial battles for the Jeweled Shillelagh. And funny enough, that crowd of 120,000, while unofficial, is still the highest crowd, the largest crowd in college football history, which is an interesting little tidbit. But obviously the Trojans won that game against Washington. they were not chosen for the Rose Bowl. Can you believe it? Stanford went to the Rose Bowl ahead of USC, but the following year, USC went on to its first national championship under Howard Jones. Homecoming 1927, that day in Trojan history, important for the foundation that Howard Jones established for USC football for many years to come. Fun stuff.
And then Howard Jones went on to win 4 national championships with USC, 5 Rose Bowls. I did a little research of what else happened in 1927. That's when Babe Ruth hit 60 home runs in a season, and the Grand Ole Opry had their first country music radio show. So it was a big year for country music, baseball, and USC. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to get into this USC-Colorado game, and our BMW Keys to the Game will have Coach Sark live. It's all coming up here on USC's pregame show right after this.
Player safety, teaching fundamentals, teaching proper technique, for us is so critical. This is the best sport in the world, in my opinion. And we want to continue to make this game better and better and better. And the Heads Up program to me is just developing those fundamentals, the right way to tackle, the right way to play the game. And it's obviously very near and dear to me. I've got a son who's 9 years old whose team is part of the Heads Up program. And so continue to do everything we can to enhance our game and make our game safer. USA Football for a better, safer game.
Nice laptop. Tablet too.
Whoa, where'd you get that?
Office Max. A chandelier? A rug? Where'd you get that? Office Depot. Office Max.
Great backpack. Where'd you get that?
Office Depot.
Now there are 2 great places to get the must-have school supplies that'll make them smile. Get over 1,000 items, $5 or less. Send them back happy with Office Depot and Office Max.
Limbo, limbo, limbo like me. Limbo, limbo, limbo like me. Dance the limbo, he's very well geared. He gets under the stick by the breath of his beard. He limbos left and he limbos right till he goes out of sight. Oh, limbo, limbo, limbo like me. Limbo, limbo, limbo like me. Limbo, limbo, limbo like me.
Welcome back. We're going to take a look at the Coke Zero AP Top 25 and your top 3 teams up there this week. Mississippi State, Florida State, and Ole Miss at the top. And guys, this is what I love about college football. The top 25 look nothing like this in week 1. In fact, Mississippi State wasn't even in the rankings until I think week 5. But of course, it's SEC at the top. And Danny, I know you have some strong opinions about this.
Well, here's my problem with the Southeastern Conference. Okay, the SEC has some of the top football teams in the country. That's obvious. But we only know how good they are by them playing one another, because none of these teams go out and play big out-of-conference games. Yes, I understand that Auburn went to Kansas State. Woohoo. But Texas A&M is still in the top 25. They haven't done anything but been beat up by other SEC teams. How are we supposed to know how good the Southeastern Conference is until they play other teams outside of the SEC instead of Alabama, Birmingham, Tennessee, Chattanooga, Southern Mississippi? Wow, thrilling. The SEC needs to go out and play some real football teams in their non-conference games, and we're not seeing that right now. The Pac-12, unbelievable pride I have for these Pac-12 teams and the way the Pac-12 has gone out and scheduled difficult non-conference opponents. You know where you'd never see an SEC team going to Notre Dame, going up to New England? That just doesn't happen, you know? But the Pac-12 has a lot of pride in its football and likes to take its game elsewhere. I'd love to see the SEC do that sometime, so we actually know how good these teams are.
The passion. How about Danny killing in that segment with the passion, man?
Oh, man.
I am fired up for some Pac-12 football now. Let's get to November, Danny. You got me fired up now, buddy.
I'm ready. But you see what I'm saying, right? I mean, how
No,
do you know
they don't
how
travel.
really-
When's the last time they came out here to the West? You know, you want to see a team out here. We could take our game. I think it's portable, and we can take our game to different places in the Pac-12. So it's unfortunate that it seemed like that. And Danny's obviously very passionate about this, and so I'm not going to disagree with Danny.
But it is fortunate this year that we have a committee, so AP Top 25 doesn't mean much, and the committee's made it clear they want to make a big statement and so say that, hey, just because Top 25 has certain teams at the top, that doesn't mean that they really are the best teams in the country. So let's talk Pac-12, because right now USC's not quite in control of their destiny, but they're getting there. They also have Utah, Arizona State that join them as one-loss teams in the Pac-12 South. So what needs to happen so they are in control of their destiny?
We're Stanford fans tonight, right? We're Stanford. We're pulling for Stanford. Knock those Arizona State Sun Devils out. Let's pull for Stanford tonight. And then you just got to keep knocking these games off. You got to be a professional in this circumstance. We got to play a Colorado team today. We got to one game at a time. That's the mentality I think you got to have as a team, and you got to keep this climbing to the end. And it's going to be a fight, but you have to get there to November when the games really count.
But let's not forget, we're in a great position right now because we are at the top and continue, just like Sean said, take care of the next day, which today is today, and then we'll go tomorrow and the next week, so on and so forth. But just continue to beat the teams that are in front of you, and then just hope at the end of the year, the teams that are close, that are behind you, they have to play each other, and then hopefully they knock each other off.
I love this conference. It is just a war of attrition, isn't it? Especially this division. I mean, Utah, what a massive win for Utah late Thursday night. They really impressed me. Arizona State's obviously a good football team. Zona, SC, UCLA, Colorado is a good team as well. I love this division of the conference as well. Great football across the board.
Is there a dark horse in this division that maybe might be up there with USC at the end?
I'm going to go with Utah.
Yeah, it's hard not to think, right?
They go into Michigan.
Tough trip next week, going to Utah for SC. That's a good football team.
There's no dark horses. There's only one team, the Trojans.
Sean, I always like your answers. All right, well, we're going to take a quick break pretty soon, but before we do, I want to highlight a couple upcoming USC games, starting with the volleyball game, women's volleyball tomorrow against Oregon State. It's at the Galen Center at 11 a.m., and the best part, bring your USC football ticket stub, and Sean's going to be setting the ball right up in there with Samantha Bricio tomorrow. But yes, bring your football ticket stub, and it's free admission for all Trojan fans that are here at the game today. Also, women's soccer will be back here at the Coliseum on November 7th, and they're taking on UCLA, big crosstown rivalry game. They're trying to break the NCAA attendance record that they actually set, in fact, in 2010 here at the Coliseum. So come on out, show your support, help them do that. And the first 2,500 fans get a free USC scarf. Hopefully you'll need it by then. And Danny, I think you should go to that game, because every game you've told us you're going to show up in a scarf. I get Southern California weather hasn't helped you out in that, but Danny, I think we'll make sure to get him a couple of those scarves. All right, stay with us. We're coming back. Coach Sark, BMW Keys to the Game, your USC starting lineup just on the other side of the break. Stay there.
Your team. Your network. Inside access. Exclusive Trojan coverage. Only on Pac-12 Networks. Go to getpac12networks.com.
It's a revelation. Fewer seats, infinitely more room. It's an inspiration. Your own private room with its own sliding door. It's an experience as perfect and special as you are. It's the Ashiana 380 Special Edition.
A common injury in contact sports is a shoulder dislocation, where the top of the arm pops out of the socket. This injury causes tearing of the soft tissues, including the labrum and capsule of the shoulder, which can lead to shoulder instability. Symptoms include pain and a feeling that your shoulder is loose. Treatment of a shoulder dislocation depends on the severity of the injury. For a simple dislocation, treatment consists of physical therapy to rehabilitate the rotator cuff muscles, which can take as little as 1 week to a couple months. If physical therapy fails to stabilize the shoulder, surgical options may be required.
Sark will be joining us live as the team runs up the locker room in just a bit. But first, let's break down this matchup. USC looks to stay atop the Pac-12 South after knocking off 10th-ranked Arizona last week. And then we have Colorado that's coming off a couple frustrating losses that were decided by just a couple points. Danny, I want to start with you. How important is it for a big win today to really get momentum going into the second half of the regular season?
Yeah, I mean, the last couple weeks have been just incredible games across the board. And I think you guys are both right when you say that this team really learned very much how to win last week. Tonight is an important contest for USC to be able to assert itself offensively and defensively. USC really needs to shut down Colorado's strong pass attack, led by Nelson Spruce, the leading wide receiver in this Pac-12 conference. So I think it's important to control not only tempo, but just kind of the way the game flows. SC needs to assert itself from the opening kickoff with USC's style of football.
Yeah, I mean, I think Colorado's offense has been way underrated this year. They've been putting up a ton of points on some good opponents. So I mean, their defense has been coming along as the year's gone on. But I think, as far as Spruce goes, I mean, he's obviously the target of their team, and that's someone who we have to mark as a Trojan. We have to key in and be able to stop. In some of the previous weeks, we've had targets that we need to stop, and we're able to do so. And I think that's going to be a key this game, is to stop a target like Spruce in this battle.
And Coach Sark and offensive coordinator Clay Helton talked a lot this week about wanting those big explosive plays. In fact, they calculated it, and right now, on average, USC gets about 17% of their plays to be explosive. That means 10 yards more on rushing or 15 yards more for passing. Now, they really want to get those explosive plays in today's game, which could be possible with this young defensive line that we're seeing from Colorado. But what does Cody need to do to achieve that today?
And I think those explosive plays aren't always, touchdowns. People think explosion play, they think touchdowns. I think they did a great job last week in picking up. You want those big chunk plays, those ones that hurt. You pick up those 15 to 25-yard plays, those where you're not just having to grind out every 3-4 yard carry, 6-yard carry, a negative play. You want those big chunk plays that really hurt, and it keeps the offense, positive, that confidence going, I think, as the drive continues.
Yeah, a few yards on first down is always important too, Get a few yards on first down, set things up from there. Sorry, Thomas.
No, it's good.
Is this the type of game where USC can work on some of this today, or do they need to get out there, a lot of momentum, and have a 3-touchdown lead going into half?
I think you're exactly right when you say the 3-touchdown lead. Here's a team that's coming off of a bye, Colorado. They had their previous 2 games. They lost by a total of 8 points. They really believe like they're one play away both offensively and defensively of winning the game. So USC's got to come out and be dominant from the opening kickoff all the way throughout the entire game. Don't ever make them think that they're in the game.
Well, the starting lineup is just around the corner, but first we want to bring you a Trojan Spotlight. It's a USC video exclusive on Antoine Woods. Take a look.
Go at first. He didn't want to go to Tab.
My home school is Dorsey, so it's like all I knew is just the area was right across down the street from my house. I didn't want to catch no bus all the way to the valley.
He wanted to go to Dorsey, and he was like, "Yeah, Dad, I'm going." I said, "No, I'm gonna send you to Tab." But I like Dorsey. I said, "That's why I'm sending you to Tab."
When I eventually started going to Tab, it happened to be like one of the best decisions I ever made.
All his little letters from the different colleges. So I have a box full of letters that he got for the different colleges. And he's been with SC for the longest. you wanted to go to SC?
One of my coaches, Coach Rizzo, he made me come to the USC camp, and that's when it took off from there.
Won't you follow me into the jungle?
Check out USCTrojans.com for that full video exclusive on Antoine Woods. Well, Trojan fans, it's time for our SoCal BMW starting lineup. So we'll throw it to the board and be back in a few.
Hi, I'm head coach Steve Sarkisian. Here's today's offensive starting lineup. Fight on.
Sark introducing the starting lineups here. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Juju Smith. He is a man from Long Beach.
He's 6'2", 210 pounds.
Oh, Nelson Aguilar. I like his last name.
Is this like a Nelson versus Nelson thing tonight? Like who's going to be the best Nelson?
Randall Tupper, senior, tight end.
260 pounds. That's
If I could
a big
look like
tight
anything,
end.
I'd want to look like that guy.
Sophomore.
Pencil thin mustache, nice.
Zach
A
Banner.
lot of attention.
9'350".
Way to go, Zach.
The mustache is the only thing that's pencil thin.
Freshman, offensive line.
Oh, that's good.
Max Turk.
You got Big Max
Max
Turk.
Turk, he's 6'6", and he's 285 pounds. Santa Margarita.
Guy's doing a great job leading the youngsters.
Freshman, offensive line.
Got
Cerritos,
Toa,
Does everyone on this team have a mustache?
Sophomore, offensive
Chad
line.
Wheeler.
Chad Wheeler, no mustache.
Yeah.
6'7", 280 pounds.
Junior.
Cody Kessler, 6'1", 210 pounds. Way to go, Cody.
Doesn't he kind of look like Matt Leinart?
Jaleel Pinner.
He will.
Fullback.
Let's use the fullback more,
Yeah, a
boys.
little
You know?
fullback action. Way to go, Jalil.
Javarius Buck Allen.
Javarius Buck
Running back.
Allen.
220 pounds. All of that 20 pounds.
37. What a number.
Justin Wilcox. Here's today's defensive starting lineup. Fight on.
So Cravens, sophomore.
I like him. Sewell Cravens, man. He's my guy today.
Making plays.
This is a top-level draft pick, too, when the time comes, I think.
Delvin Simmons,
Simmons?
6'5", 295.
Keysport, Pennsylvania.
It's like you got to be tough to wear number 52, right?
Yeah.
Antoine Woods.
Yeah, big hungry in the middle.
Look at that
Love it.
smile. Great smile.
Leonard Williams, Jr.
He's coming for you. It's like a 3D show
man.
every time we see him
Leo,
up there.
he looks like a lion. Leonard, 6'5".
J.R. Tavai. I'm excited to see him play today, too. I think he's going to have a couple big plays to really spark up his crowd.
Senior, linebacker, Los Angeles.
Ace Pillard, last homecoming in this stadium.
Anthony Sarah, Jr. linebacker.
Jersey, Atlantic City.
Gotta love that, right?
Coming across the line.
Devon Seymour, Jr.
Devon
cornerback,
Seymour.
Pasadena, California.
6 foot, 185 pounds.
From Pasadena, right around the corner.
Senior, defensive back, Philadelphia.
Gerald Bowman.
Liam McCoy III, sophomore, safety, Tampa, Florida.
I wish I was a third, Liam McQuay. Way to go, bud.
John Plattenberg, freshman, safety, Houston Texans.
Oh, Houston Texans, shout out John Plattenberg.
Adoree Jackson, freshman, cornerback, Belleville, Illinois.
Adoree Jackson, 5'11", 185 pounds, raw talent.
That's your SoCal BMW starting lineup, and you saw freshman John Plattenberg up there, which means he joins Juju and Vianney and Adoree and Damien as another true freshman to start for this USC team. Should be exciting. Guys, who are you looking forward to watching today?
Every day, every time the USC defense lines up, it's Sewell Cravens, right? One thing I loved when we went through those starting lineups on the defensive side of the football is the fact that we brought talent in from far and wide. Right. You know, we got Bowen from Pennsylvania. We got your boy, the freshman from Houston, Texas. Obviously, star players from Florida. Sue is not from SoCal. He's from Vista Murrieta High School out in the Temecula Valley area. This defense is just finding its rhythm, just finding itself. I really like where Justin Wilcox has the boys, has them poised for a great second half of the year.
I was going to say Sewell Cravens, but I'm going to
sorry.
go with Leonard Williams. I think that big hit that he put on the offensive player last week and forced a fumble is just kind of a coming out party, and I think he's really going to show his dominance today in front of the crowd. So I'm looking forward to seeing Big Len.
I think I'm enjoying watching the young guards. I like Big Toa and Vianney. I think they're playing really well last week. Those guys are pulling really well. They look exceptional with their movement, and they're staying on their blocks, and I think they're getting better every week. So I'm looking forward to watching those guys.
Well, maybe this is predictable, but I'm going with Buck Allen. Yes, he had a career best last week, but against this young defense, I get that's an easy pick, but here's the deal. If he had 205 yards last week, now we've got a much younger defense out here. He already had like 147 yards and 21 plays against this team last year. I think he's actually going to break his career best today. So maybe it's an easy pick, but you can't say that's not exciting to watch.
I love watching Buck. I hope he goes for 500 yards today.
Leave her alone, Sean.
All right. Hey, we said Heisman candidate, so it wouldn't surprise us. Well, let's get to our BMW keys of the game, and we will start with the offense. So, Thomas, what do you have for us?
All right, first and foremost, it's homecoming. Let's put on a show for the fans. Let's put on a show for the past Trojans, the current Trojans, and the future Trojans. Just keep on watching Traveler run all the way around this field 100 times. I don't care. He's a thoroughbred. He can run forever. Number 2 I got is keep on bucking. Obviously, like you said, last year, Buck Allen rushed for 145 yards in this game last year. Continue to do the same thing. Colorado's not the greatest tackling team in the world, so all of his plays, he's going to fall forward 2, 3, 4, 5 yards. In the last, but certainly not least, is confident Cody. Last week we saw Cody kind of spread out the ball a little bit more to different players. Continue to have confidence in that the plays will develop. Trust your preparation, Cody, and just fling it, sling it, and let it ride.
And last game, Buck really did carry the defense on his back, so that could happen again today. All right, Sean, let's hear the keys to the game for defense.
Well, I like seeing confident Cody up there because I am feeling very confident today, boys. I'm feeling like a very good, positive Trojan vibe. I'm no way for Nelson. I think the first tip, Nelson Spruce has been a great player for Colorado. I mean, we got to be able to key in him, like I said earlier, and stop a productive player on that, and I think we can be highly successful as a defense if we do that. Number 2, we got Fly Hawkins. How about our boy Chris Hawkins, man? I think he's getting better as the weeks go on, and I'm excited to watch him play. He's going to have a tough challenge against Nelson and the wide receivers that Colorado has, but I think he's going to step up for the challenge and dominate Delvon. Delvon Simmons is probably one of the underrated defensive tackles on our team. He doesn't get talked about a lot with Antoine and Leonard, but I think Delvon had a heck of a game last week. He had pressures. He was causing a lot of havoc that didn't go on the stat sheet, but he was making some plays out there.
Yeah, you know, one thing I wanted to ask you when you obviously bring up Simmons' performance last week and you talk about, of course, Leonard and Antoine Woods, is this like a Wild Bunch 2.5? You know, is this an elite group of linemen that maybe it's not the Cody Patterson crew, Kenichi Udeze, the Wild Bunch 2, but is this kind of the next great group of defensive linemen that we'll remember for a long time?
I think that last game was really their statement game so far this season. It wasn't just one guy, Leonard, making plays. It was Antoine who had a bunch of tackles. He was all over the place. Delvon was playing good, and I think their back guys are getting better. Cody Temple and Delvon Simmons and Claude Pallone, I think are really guys into the mix that are making some plays for the team. And I think when you have that rotation of guys, it keeps everyone fresher. You can't play 111 plays or whatever they played last week and keep guys fresh. You have to have a rotation of guys to make sure everyone's playing at a high level.
That's one thing Coach Sarkisian emphasized on national radio this week too was the rotation, obviously, and there's not a ton of depth, of course, but when you look at the linebacking core, how have they improved throughout the season, you think, Thomas? Because I know that's what you're watching. You're not even watching the entire 11 on defense. You're keeping an eye on those linebackers. How have they progressed?
No, you're right. Here's the thing how I think they progress. I think great defenses, they're always trusting one another, and they have confidence in one another. The linebackers, if they trust the guys in front of them, then they're going to fit in their gap, and they're going to play the appropriate gap. I mean, to be honest with you, this guy sitting to my right is the only reason I ever had a chance to play in the NFL. I mean, look at him. He is big, he's strong, he's fast, and he's handsome. But in all
he was fast, he was strong.
Still handsome.
No. But all honesty, I think that linebackers are just the trust and the trust of the defense and the scheme and the philosophy. So the trust would be the biggest thing, and the confidence to understand, find the football, make a tackle, make a play.
Last thing, how do you like those metallic helmets? I'm a traditional guy. I love those puppies.
I'm a traditional guy too, but they're so beautiful. I think they're so pretty.
Nice little shine on. The Trojans doing something special for homecoming. We surely hope the Trojans will do something special on the field today. We know they will. Let's toss it over to Katie Boggs, who is with Coach Sarkisian. Katie.
Well, Coach, the second half of the season starts in about 20 minutes. What's the message to the team in the locker room today?
Well, that we've been an improving team game after game after game after game. Now it's time for us to finish. We need to finish tonight on this field, but we need to finish the second half of the season. All our goals are still in front of us.
And one of the guys that's really leading the way, Buck Allen, another impressive game last week, and his teammates shouting Buck for Heisman. Are we witnessing a legend in the making?
Well, I know this. He's improving just like our team has. He's a versatile player. I know we lean on him quite a bit running the football. He's getting better and better. And when we run the football, we're at our best.
Thanks, Coach, and good luck today.
All righty, thank you. Fight on.
Well, that's going to wrap it up for us right here in the Coliseum. Thank you for joining us here on Tunnel Vision. I'm Katie Boggs with Sean Cody, Thomas Williams, and Danny Page. And enjoy the game, everyone. Have a great homecoming fight on. If you're tuning in at home, stay there. We'll be back with you in just a few.
Take it in, enjoy it, compete to your fullest every snap that you get.
Cause I don't want no mediocre, don't want no mediocre, I don't want no mediocre, no. Bad mama cedars, ain't no mediocre, don't want no mediocre, I won't hit no mediocre, yeah. Bad shit, stuntin' on a mediocre, on a mediocre, you stand on a mediocre, 7. Women with me and none on mediocre, from their head to their toe, they so far from mediocre.
Going up to get it as Kessler gives it to Allen, one man to beat 20, 15, he's gone, 10, 5, touchdown USC.
Girl, I should see nothing but nookie when I look down there. They come and get with me, shout it, what better to do? He callin' at you, how you doing? Tell him better than you. Yeah, I'm kick back with 4 pieces like a Kit Kat. Me hitting if you ain't a dime, just forget that.
And Allen a huge haul, and he is gone. Touchdown SC, that's 2 for Buck Allen.
She took it, I took it back. You should have asked for a being that mediocre. Bad cause I don't want no mediocre. Don't want no mediocre. I don't want no mediocre. No. Bad mama cedars ain't no mediocre. Don't want no mediocre. I won't hit no mediocre. You bad shit. Starting on a mediocre. On a mediocre.
And the kick is blocked.
Oh, wow.
The kick is blocked by Claude Colon.
But you gotta stand up and throw a punch and trust that the guy next to you is gonna throw his punch too. Every play. Over and over and over, man. Let's go finish, let's go!
Bad cause I don't want no mediocre, don't want no mediocre, I don't want no mediocre, no. Bad mama cedars ain't no mediocre, don't want no mediocre, I won't hit no mediocre, yeah. Bad shit, stuntin' on a mediocre, on a mediocre, you stand on a mediocre, 7. Women with me.
Leonard Williams smoked Jones Grigsby. And it'll be Allen. And he's still going past the 35. They can't get him to the ground. What a run. Arizona looking to tie the game at 28 with 1:07 on the clock. And they don't get it. Leonard Williams all over Jared Baker, scouring from 36.
Nice snap back, place up, kick is away, but he missed it to the right side! He missed it to the right side! And the Trojans are going to hang on and win the game. Miracle of miracles, it's our turn. How do you do?
To Tunnel Vision. Thank you for joining us at home at usctrojans.com/game day. You're taking a look at the band. This is really a great part of the show because for everyone at home, you'll see when the team runs down the tunnel, we'll bring you all the action right here live on the field. And it's a great part of the show because it's completely unscripted and live. Last week, Thomas, you missed it. We came back and Sean broke his chair.
Well, we all knew that was coming. He snapped it clean.
It wasn't a break. It was a slight malfunction. A break is like when something falls apart. This was just a slight malfunction. I don't think it was caused by my weight. The chair says 250 pounds. I'm probably 60 pounds over that, but hey.
I wasn't blaming the chair. I thought it was a manufacturing issue.
Yeah. We have an issue. We have a lawsuit going on, so let's not. We can't go too far into it, but that's what happened.
In regards to your size, Sean, if I can jump in here, one thing I thought about when we were going through the starting lineups, you know, mostly underclassmen, 4 underclassmen. How big is this O-line? You know, what would it have been like as a D lineman lining up against this group next year when they're like 330, 350, 360? Yeah. That's nuts.
The sizes of the football now are crazy. I mean, I remember starting back when I played, I was 305 pounds, and that was considered big. You know, 305 pounds, oh, look at his shoes. I mean, That's not anywhere. These guys are all huge. Even our defensive line, all the guys are 2 inches bigger than me, all of them. So it's like it's really unrelatable to what's going on now in football.
But to add to your point, Danny, I mean, I remember as a linebacker, I was 235 pounds at my biggest, and I remember
solid. Yeah.
And I remember coaches trying to get mad at me because I couldn't get an offensive lineman who was 320 pounds off of me, and I'm thinking to myself, he's fast. Well, I'm faster than him, but he's stronger than me. And look at his arms. How am I supposed to get off somebody who outweighs me by 60, 70, 80 pounds? So obviously now I'm sitting on this side of the field and not doing that anymore. So.
Well, the colors have just made their way to the field, so we're going to take a break here so you can listen into the national anthem, and we'll be back with more in just a few.
Graduate student in business who served 6 years in the Army, including 15 months in Iraq and 12 months in Afghanistan. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing and join in singing as the Trojan Marching Band, under the direction of Dr. Arthur C. Gardner, plays our national anthem.
Youngblood Brass Band combined the traditional New Orleans brass band sounds with jazz, punk, and hip-hop to bring us their hit, Brooklyn.
Let's take 2 passes first. Okay, talk to me.
All right, well, we've got about 12 minutes left on the countdown clock before kickoff today. USC Colorado, we want to get to a segment that we didn't have time for earlier. It's all about players around the league, former USC Trojans that are really making some ground, doing some good things in the NFL. So let's talk about some of the pros that have made a big impact over the last week.
I'll start.
Let's go ahead, Sean. Let's hear it.
Jarrell Casey, I think he is killing it in the NFL as a defensive tackle. Jarrell was after me and Mike Patterson played, but I think his style in the essence of Mike Patterson with the lower to the ground with strong levers and good leverage point, and he I think he was the AFC Defensive Player of the Week this week. So the guy's killing it. Just got a big deal with the Titans, and it's, you know, as a former defensive lineman at USC, it brings a lot of pride when young guys like that are showing out in the NFL, and you know, I feel like a great Trojan pride there. So it's really good to see him doing well. And Mike Patterson is still playing and still doing his thing out there. So it's good to see defensive linemen out there from USC.
Yes, I'm going to go the opposite side of the line, the big guys in the trenches. I'm going to go Tyron Smith. Same thing. He got a big deal at the beginning of the year, and last year he was
$100 million.
Come on, you're not supposed to tell everybody.
That's 100. That's a lot of them.
That's a lot of them.
That's a big contract.
But yeah, so last week he was NFC Offensive Player of the Week, and so he's doing his thing. Jason Garrett says he's a leader, one of the hardest working guys on the football team. He blocks the #1 pass rusher every single week of the opposite team. So yeah, he's doing great. A lot of great things.
I think that's saying something when an offensive lineman is the offensive player of the week, right? And it's
zero stats.
That performance, listen, I don't like to see Pete Carroll and the Seahawks lose very often, but that was a performance from Dallas. They went up there and really in some ways controlled that game. It was impressive from the offensive line. I got to go with Jordan Cameron. You know, my man from Newbury Park, 9 catches, 205 yards, a touchdown on the season for the Cleveland Browns. But these are the Cleveland Browns that are above 500.
Right.
What in the world is going on in Cleveland? And, you know, it's got to be difficult when you come into a season when there's a lot of negativity surrounding, you know, your team. And you guys come in and you just do your thing. And shout out to Cleveland. Shout out to Mark Sanchez, who's in the building. You know, it's been great to see him, you know, doing his thing out in Philly. Obviously, that is a really good football team. We're starting to see, you know, the NFC East. Maybe a little Tyron Smith, you know, and Philly battle coming up, Cowboys, Eagles. So
They're
good to see Mark today.
They're 5-1 right now.
Tyler Rochelle in the house. It's good to see former Trojans back in the building, you know. I think Coach Sark wants that environment where, you know, guys are welcomed back and have that feeling from the past. You know, I think he welcomes that, so it's good to be around it.
And you could feel the difference in the environment as well. Well, USC's produced, 462 NFL players so far. That number's only going to grow after this season. Well, Traveler made his way onto the field, and the Trojan Marching Band was just playing the USC Battle Cry. We're now about 9 minutes away from kickoff, and now they're going to make their way off the field pretty soon, and your USC Trojans will make their way in the tunnel. When that happens, we'll bring that all to you live. But, guys, we still have a few minutes. Any final thoughts on the game today?
Homecoming, right?
Yes.
I mean, what a blast. What did homecoming mean to you guys as a player? What does it kind of mean to you now is one thing I wanted to ask.
Well, we were just talking a little bit before this segment, and Sean was just telling me his whole experience about being homecoming king.
Of course.
In high school.
Los Altos, is that it? No.
Homecoming king, probably the best looking person to ever come out of his high school. Best football player, most likely to succeed, own a company, be on television.
I wasn't the homecoming king.
Best dress.
I was talking about how devastated I was that I was not nominated. I remember that game. I couldn't even focus on the football game because all I could see was the homecoming court up there and how beautiful they were. Just great looking people.
And you
Shout out
went
to
up
Los
there,
Altos High School. And I was just a single tear, I think, rolled down my eye as I'm trying to concentrate on the game at halftime, and it was just.
See, he takes that shot, Sean. He was in the homecoming court.
Oh yeah, he won 2 years.
Come on, T.
He was back-to-back champ.
Well,
you were, weren't you, Thomas?
In Baca.
He doesn't want to say it, but I think he was.
He was back-to-back champ.
Just admit it.
But anyway, to get back to what you were saying here,
Yeah,
the whole thing with, you know, the homecoming, you got your alumni. I mean, this is a big deal. People come in from all over across the country, probably the world, to come back to their school and where they went to their alma mater to be a part of this whole environment, which is awesome. So why not put on a show and to feel and feed off of all of this energy?
Do you still have your crown, Thomas?
Did you wear a robe too? The little robe they had? And your scepter?
I had to give mine back. Did you have to give yours back?
Oh, so
we knew that
wow.
one.
Whatever I have to say to get you to admit it. You don't want to say it.
I think
but
Katie wanted to shout out. Katie, wait a second.
I didn't want to shout out. I'm going to get him to say it. We have about 5 minutes left, and he's going to say it by the end. Just do it, Thomas. Just say it. You have your crown. It's setting up somewhere.
Yeah.
Fight on.
Oh, man. Yep, that's it. No comment, I suppose. I suppose he says.
All right, well, we won't say it. Well, last time we had score predictions, Sean, maybe your score was a little off. I think you said like USC 130 points or something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe just slightly off, but score predictions for this game.
I got the Trojans today winning by 21 points, and I want to say it'll be a 50, don't make me do my math, but it'll be 50 to 20 something. There you go.
Okay, that's good. I got 42 to 10.
42 to 10. I was going to say 45-17, but this Colorado defense struggles a little bit, you know, so I think you're in the neighborhood. I want to see 50 up there, you know?
Nice.
Come on.
Nice 50 piece, that would be good. I think we want, especially this game, is a chance to build confidence of guys who have maybe lost some confidence in the previous couple games. You get guys, Darius Rogers might be lacking some confidence right now with some drop passes, but, you know, it's a chance to get him going, get his confidence. You want guys with so much confidence going into the back part of the season here, into the main run, that, you know, guys are just overflowing with confidence as the season goes on.
All right, well, I was going to give a score prediction of about 3 touchdowns, so I think we're all right around in the same ballpark. Well, it is that time. The intro video just started playing up on the board here in the Coliseum. Your USC Trojans are making their way into the tunnel, so at this time, we're going to sign off and allow you to enjoy all of that, and then, of course, tune into the game, and I'm sure we'll all be on Twitter during the game as well.
Thanks, Katie.
For Sean Cody, Thomas Williams, and Danny Page, that's a wrap on Tunnel Vision today. Join us next time. Fight on.
Fight on.
Fight on.
Trojans out today. USC All-American wide receiver, 1972 national champion, and Trojan great, Wayne Swan. Fans, it's now time for today's coin toss, presented by State Farm.